Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Mr. Frank Warren joins me. Still licking a couple of wounds, unfortunately for you, Frank.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment last night. We didn't get those. I mean, that goalkeeper in the first 15 minutes, those saves he made were brilliant. But we, just didn't happen.
Can I ask you a question? Arteta said he thought you were the better side over two legs. Do you agree with him?
No, not at all.
Well, it's good to see that you've got some sense then.
We had our moments, but no.
Okay, fair enough. Just thought I wanted to see if you agreed with Super Mick there. Right, Nottingham. What we know about Leewood, what we know about Anto Cacace, is this fight only going to go one way, do you think?
Yeah. Everybody, I think anybody who knows anything about boxing, that's what's going to happen. Styles, the old adage, styles make fights, and these guys' styles will blend. Anto knows what he's got to do. He knows he's got to come in, and he's in the other guy's backyard. He's got to make a statement. And Lee knows it's a fight he can't afford to lose. He's a two-time former world champion. He wants to get back into the top echelon, and he's got to win this fight. But it's a great fight.
For Lee, he hasn't fought since October 2023. That's a long time ago. And to come into a fight that's going to be such high tempo, is there a little bit of a worry for Lee? You think?
Maybe. But having said that, I know he's been constantly training for the last 18 months with Ben Davison down in Hertfordshire, not far from our office.
He's been looking good and looking in brilliant shape.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at him. He looks in great shape, and he's got a wealth of experience. And Anto, he's turned his life around. He's shown what he's all about when he knuckles down, and he's knuckled down, and he's beaten two really, really good fighters, world champions, and done it in style.
Yeah, I was going to say about the journey Anto's been on. There's always been so much talk about his talent, and we've seen that now. What is it? Was there just something that switches, or because it's only now in his late or mid-30s that we've seen the world-class talent come to the stage? I
mean, unbelievable world-class talent he's got, and he's had that light bulb moment. And we took when we've done the 5v5, we really rolled the dice in some ways, because I was hearing how he looks in the gym and listening to his team, and that's why we put him on our team. Obviously, we wanted to win the fights, and that's how it turned out.
What are you expecting from both men just finally on this main event?
A classic fight, contender for fight of the year, if not fight of the year.
I hope so. How was your time in Riyadh, Frank?
Hot.
Yeah. Hot. A bit different to Fury Usyk too.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting to see Canelo there. The fight, it didn't really. I mean, it wasn't the most absorbing of fights. And I thought it was much closer than certainly than one of the judges said. That's for sure.
Was you a bit? I don't want to use the word disappointed and feel like I'm doing a disservice to William Scott, but when you've got Canelo in front of you, the chance to do something great, perhaps a little bit more.
I think early on
would have been nice to see.
I think early on you could see he's a mover, and he's obviously a very good boxer. And I think to start with, when he's throwing his jab, it was falling short. He wasn't getting, they weren't emphatic punches. And I think as it slowed down, a little bit, he was then connecting. And he was connecting, he was catching him. It makes that Crawford fight, I think, more of an intriguing fight. I always say a good big and beat a good little one. And he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but he could give Canelo a real problem now, because Canelo was getting caught.
Yeah, I was going to say, watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked it, and he could, and he's no schmuck. He knows his boxing. And the other thing is, though, you got to look at what's his name? Was it Modric? What's his name? Madrimov, who he fought. Also gave him a tough fight for a guy who only had 12 fights. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight between the two of them.
Yeah, an actual big super fight.
Yes, a super fight.
Martin McCauley, what did you make of his performance? Was he lucky to walk away with a draw?
I thought he got beat. I thought he was very fortunate.
What do you make of him coming in only I'm going to say around 12, 13 pounds lighter than the Joseph Parker fight. And considering the Parker fight, as we know, it was a 48-hour...
He took that fight at short notice. I'm not an after-timer. I'll just say how it is. I mean, he's a boxer. He's a tough guy. I've never bought into this that he was the big danger man or the boogeyman of the division. I've always said that. But he done what he had to do. But I don't think he won the fight.
Why do you think he was labelled as a bogeyman, let's say 18 months ago?
Because everybody was buying into what was being said by Billy, who was doing his part as a manager and selling him. I never see anything in his resume to suggest he was that. In fact, that fight he got beaten, I thought he showed a lot of vulnerability in a lot of areas.
Another heavyweight who was in Riyadh was Anthony Joshua. We heard him talk about this little surgery that he needs. Have we just got to chill out with the Fury Joshua stuff? Because I saw you on the Usyk Dubois day, and I didn't ask you, but everyone was talking about Fury and Sugar Hill. Did Joshua just kind of bring us down to earth a little bit with
he's
that?
Had a bit of surgery, and he's got a lot of projects on at the moment, and he's teased everybody, but that's what he does.
What do you expect from Tyson in the next 6 months or so? Do you expect any fight announcement?
I don't think he'll fight in the next 6 months.
He's ringing you, isn't he?
Who knows? Who knows?
Is he not ringing you now?
Sorry?
Is he not ringing you now?
Do you think that's him?
If this was Tyson, this would be unbelievable.
Is as well, look.
I've just got to finish by talking about Ben Shalom. I know everyone saw the clip of him and Eddie having their, I'd say, friendly disagreement about lead promoters and where you should be placed on stage. Have you and Eddie been purposely teaming up and nudging him off stage, Frank?
I don't know where all this comes from. What everybody where they got to be and all that. I don't know. This is all new to me. I've only been doing this for 47 years. This is all new bullshit that is irrelevant, and I just can't believe the relevance of it and why someone would want to be put into a contract where they stand. But anyway, what do I care? I mean, it's a complete lot of crap.
What did you make of the lead promoter back and forth that they had about Tottenham and
whoever the lead promoter was? I mean, Eddie, it was done, and Eddie was the promoter. He was. What I mean by that, he was the one. From what I understand, his team organised it and everything.
What about?
I don't know.
And what about Ben's statement that Chris is now the biggest star in British boxing, Chris Eubank Jr.?
What else is he going to say? He's got to bang the drum, hasn't he, for it now? But he's not. He's not. When he wins a world title, he might get there. He hasn't won a world title. Was he 35, 36 years of age? He hasn't won a world title. I don't know what people... I mean, I'm not even going to go there with all that rubbish. There's levels. There's levels in boxing. There's levels.